Ben was in the bathroom. He was splashing water on his face. His hands were shaking. He had just given the boss the paper. Now, he was so scared. What had he done? Suddenly, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Simon's assistant. Ben, come to Mr. Simon's office. Immediately. Ben's heart dropped into his stomach. This was it. He was going to be fired. He would lose his job because of that paper. He walked slowly to Simon's office. His feet felt like heavy rocks. He opened the door. Simon was standing there, holding the paper. His face was serious. Ben, Simon said. Sit down. Ben sat on the very edge of the chair. He was ready to run. Where did you get this? Simon asked. He held up the paper. Ben looked down at his shoes. He could not speak. Look at me, Simon said. His voice was not angry. It was calm. This paper has the answer. The answer to our big problem. It is correct. I know it is. Who wrote it? Ben was confused. The answer was correct? He looked up. It is? Yes, Simon said. He almost smiled. It is brilliant. And simple. Now tell me the truth. Who gave this to you? Ben took a deep breath. He had promised Rachel he would not tell. But the boss was asking. He had to be honest. It was Rachel, sir, Ben whispered. Simon's eyebrows went up. Rachel? Who is Rachel? Which engineer is Rachel? Ben shook his head. No, sir. She is not an engineer. She is the janitor. The woman who cleans at night. Simon was silent. He looked at Ben. He looked at the paper. He looked out the window. The janitor? The woman with the broom and the cart? It was impossible. It could not be. But the paper was in his hand. The solution was real. Get her, Simon said, his voice low with urgency. Find Rachel. Bring her to me. Now. Rachel was cleaning a bathroom on the second floor. She was scrubbing a sink. Her mind was on Ben. Did he give the paper to Simon? What did Simon say? Suddenly, Ben appeared at the door. His face was pale. Rachel, he said. He wants to see you. Mr. Simon. Rachel's scrub brush clattered into the sink. Her worst fear was coming true. She was in trouble. She was going to be fired for touching the paper. Please come, Ben said. He looked sorry. Rachel wiped her wet hands on her uniform. She followed Ben. Her legs felt like jelly. They walked to Simon's big office. Ben opened the door for her and then left, closing it softly behind her. Rachel stood in the middle of the huge room. She felt very small in her old blue uniform. Simon was sitting in his big black chair. He was looking at her. His icy eyes were different now. They were not cold. They were curious. He held up the paper. Did you write this? He asked. Rachel looked at the floor. She nodded her head. Yes, sir, she whispered. I am sorry. I took the paper from the trash. I should not have. Sorry? Simon said. He stood up and walked around the desk. Why are you sorry? This paper saves my company. This paper saves $500 million. How did you do this? Rachel finally looked up. She saw he was not angry. He wanted to know. So she told him. She told him the whole story. She spoke in a soft, simple voice. She told him about MIT. She told him about Sam. She told him about her dreams in the box under the bed. She told him about Sophia. Simon listened. He did not interrupt. He just listened. When she finished, she was crying a little. Simon was quiet for a long time. He looked at this brave woman. He saw the intelligence in her eyes. He saw the strength in her face. He felt ashamed. This genius had been cleaning his floors, and he never even knew her name. "Show me," he said. He pointed to the whiteboard on his wall. "Show me how it works." Rachel wiped her tears. She picked up a marker. She went to the whiteboard. She did not use big, complicated words. She used a simple story. "Think of the code like a recipe for a cake," she said. "The recipe says mix the flour and eggs. But it forgot to say stop mixing. So the cook mixes and mixes and mixes forever. The cake becomes a big, messy blob. That is what happened. The code had a mixing command with no stop command. I just wrote the stop command." She drew a little picture on the board. A circle with a line through it. It was that simple. Simon understood. For the first time, he understood the problem. He looked from the simple drawing to the brilliant woman. He pressed a button on his phone. "Get the engineering team in my office now." 5 minutes later, Hassan and the other engineers filed into Simon's office. They looked tired and defeated. They saw Rachel standing by the whiteboard. They were confused. "Why was the cleaner here?" "Hassan," Simon said. "I have the solution." Hassan's face lit up with hope. "You do?" "Sir, that is wonderful. Did one of my team?" "No," Simon interrupted. He pointed to Rachel. "She did." Everyone turned to look at Rachel. Their mouths hung open. Hassan's face turned from hope to shock, then to anger. "What?" "This is a joke," Hassan said. "Her? The cleaner? This is impossible." "It is not a joke," Simon said calmly. He handed Hassan the paper. "Run it. Now." Hassan looked at the paper. His eyes moved across the solution. His face changed. He saw that it was right. It was perfectly, beautifully right. He felt dizzy. The woman he had yelled at had solved the problem he could not. He looked at Rachel. He saw her standing tall. She was not looking at the floor anymore. "Run it," Simon repeated, his voice hard. Hassan had to sit down at Simon's computer. His hands were shaking. He typed in the solution. He pressed the enter key. Everyone held their breath. On the big screen in the office, the numbers changed. The angry red numbers turned into calm, peaceful green numbers. A big message flashed on the screen. System stable. Project Eagle, operational. A cheer erupted in the room. The engineers hugged each other. They were saved. But Hassan did not cheer. He sat in the chair, his head in his hands. He was filled with shame. Simon looked at Hassan. Then he looked at all the engineers. "You are all good at your jobs," Simon said. "But you were looking at the problem with your eyes closed. You thought the answer had to be complicated. You thought the answer had to come from someone with a fancy degree and a white shirt." He walked over and stood next to Rachel. "You treated this woman like she was nothing. But she was the only one who saw the truth. She has more genius in her little finger than some of you have in your whole bodies. And you, Hassan, you were the worst." Simon's voice became firm. "Hassan, you are fired. Clean out your desk. You are done here." Hassan stood up. He did not look at anyone. He walked out of the office with his head down. He was gone forever. The room was quiet again. Simon turned to Rachel. "Rachel," he said, "you saved my company. You saved all these jobs. Thank you." Rachel smiled a small smile. "You are welcome," she said. "I have a new job for you," Simon said. "I want you to take Hassan's job. You will be the new head of engineering. You will have a big office. A big salary. You and Sophia will have a new house. Everything will be better." It was a dream offer. It was everything she had ever wanted long ago. But Rachel surprised everyone. She shook her head. "No," she said softly. Everyone was shocked. Why would she say no? I do not want Hassan's job, Rachel explained. I do not want to be the boss of the people who ignored me. That is not my dream anymore. Then what do you want? Simon asked. He respected her even more. I want to start something new, Rachel said. A new team. Let us call it the New Vision Team. We will not just look at degrees. We will look for people who are smart in different ways. We will find people who are hidden. People who clean offices. People who drive buses. People who others think are invisible. Everyone has a light inside them. We will find that light. Simon smiled a real, true smile. It was the first time anyone had seen him smile in months. That, he said, is a brilliant idea. The job is yours. You are the head of the New Vision Team. 1 year later, everything was different. Rachel sat in a bright, sunny office. It was not the biggest office, but it was hers. On her desk was a picture of her and Sophia, both smiling. Sophia was doing her homework at a small, colorful desk in the corner. Rachel was not wearing a blue uniform. She wore a simple, beautiful yellow dress. She was working on her computer. Her team had already found 5 new, brilliant people who other companies had overlooked. Simon walked in. He no longer had icy eyes. They were warm and kind. The board is very happy, Rachel, he said. The New Vision Team is our best team. You have changed this company. You have changed me. Rachel smiled. Thank you, Simon. He left, and Rachel looked out her window. The city of Lagos was busy below. She saw a woman pushing a cleaning cart into a building across the street. She remembered her old life. She was no longer the invisible woman. She was a leader. She was a hero. She had proven that the smartest person in the room is sometimes the one holding the broom. This story teaches us a very important lesson about humanity. Everyone has value. The person who cleans your floor, the person who drives your bus, the person who serves your food, they are all people with stories. They have dreams. They have talents you cannot see. Just because someone has a simple job does not mean they have a simple mind. Be kind to everyone. You never know who you are talking to. The person you treat poorly today might be the very person who can help you tomorrow. But more importantly, being kind is the right thing to do. Everyone deserves respect. Look for the light in others. Do not just see the uniform. See the person inside. Look for their hidden talents. When we help each other shine, we make the whole world brighter. Did this story touch your heart? Did it remind you that everyone has a hidden gift? If you believe that every person deserves to be seen, then share this story. Let your friends and family watch it. Let us spread this important message together. Leave a comment below and tell us about someone in your life who has a hidden talent or a kind heart. And if you want to hear more stories about hope, courage, and the power of kindness, subscribe to our channel. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's build a world where no one is invisible.